And over here you can see nice blown strut, leaking oil all over the place.
I think it's fine. I say you just leave it.
Welcome back to the channel, everyone. We're back with the Golf. It's been a while since you guys seen it. We actually took it to an autocross event pretty recently, and I knew the suspension was messed up beforehand, but look at it now. I'm not a very big person. I can pretty much jostle the entire car. So today we're going to be replacing all the suspension components.
Yeah.
We've actually got some new parts on here since you guys last saw the Golf. New rims and tires. These are BBS XR17s. Some hand-cooked tires, 235/45/17. So I think these are about almost 10 inches wide. It's like 9.5, and I believe 25 inches tall. I think the rims are 17x7 or 17x8. I can't really remember, but this is a huge improvement over the 15s and the 185s. The stock tires are like pizza cutters. We've also installed some gauges here. We have boost, exhaust gas temp, and we also have fuel pressure. This is basically just to make sure that the intake fuel pump is still providing the injection pump with fuel. So here's all of our new parts. We've got all of our bushings and whatnot in here. We have the heavy duty strut mounts. I also got the R32 bushings for the control arms. The TDI ones have holes in it around this, so this thing should stiffen it up a little bit. We also have some more bushings for the control arm here. Bilstein struts. We also have some H&R lowering springs. These should lower the car about an inch.
Consider the spring, the box spring.
We got the tires off, and go ahead and bust the axle nut loose. You can see the old bushings are nice and worn out there. We got the strut cup off. Take off the tie rod here. Get like a bucket or something, because you can't really hang this anywhere.
All right, we're rolling.
We got the steering knuckle out sitting over there on the table.
Start over.
So we have the steering knuckle out. As you can see here, we got struts kind of dangling, axles out, tie rods out. Also the ball joint. It's time to do something extremely sketchy. We have to take the strut apart and get this plate out because we need it for the new strut assembly. We have a new strut mount here. This will go on top. You can see the stock one's all ballooned.
Who's volunteering to take off the nut?
I guess I'll do it.
Our fearless leader. It's nice knowing you.
If this makes it on YouTube, I didn't die.
Safety squints.
Hey,
I just want to see what size is the nut.
We're gonna go over here with this. Ready? Press the division. Now with this. Here comes the really sketchy part. All right, nobody dies. Let's see the spring thickness. These should also be a little bit shorter, which as you can see they are. Am I really close to the camera right now? We got our new strike here. Here's the old one. You can actually see this one's much thicker. You can see how worn out these are because I can just kind of push it in with no effort at all and it doesn't come back up. Take a look at this one. It takes quite a bit of force and it also rebounds. When I was taking apart the old cup here to try to reverse engineer some stuff, I noticed that the strut bearing was missing. Luckily we have a factory shop manual from eManuals Online. If you look here, you can see that the strut bearing sits below the strut mount. Flip this thing back over and there it is, hiding. Also, we need the torque specs for this, and it looks like we're going to be torquing it to 44 foot-pounds. As you can see, this manual is almost 2,000 pages long, so you can tell this thing is the real deal. You have pretty much every torque spec that you need, as well as exploded views of assemblies, so you can figure out where each part goes. If you guys need a manual for your next DIY project, be sure to check out eManuals Online. We have a link to their website down below. We also have a coupon code for 22% off at checkout. And these guys have manuals for everything from cars to tractors to even iPhones. So if you're working on your car and you end up breaking your phone, you can always download a repair manual, and after you're done fixing your car, you can fix your phone. We got the bolts out for the lower control arm. You just slide it right out of here. And just like that. See the bushing's all jacked up. Completely dry rotted. This is not as bad. Yeah, look at this side. A little trick here. You put your bushings in the freezer, they'll shrink down a little bit and make it a little bit easier to put in the control arms.
As you guys can see, there ain't much left of that.
I could probably just rip this out if I really wanted to.
That's good. That's good.
That's good. We need this out, right? Don't be gentle. It's a rental.
Oh, and just like that,
Pressed out.
old bushings out. We got the polyurethane bushing in up front. Now we got the R32 bushing going in.
Look at all this carnage. Bump stops look like termites got to it. See all these bushings. Horrible. I honestly didn't think it was this bad, but I guess it was. Ball joint's completely gone. Pretty much see daylight through there. Don't know what this is from. Tie rod's all gacked up. It's actually not too bad, the strut bearing. You can see how collapsed the stock strut mounts are. It's all bulged out right there.
So we got everything pieced back together. Let's go ahead and put it back in the car. We've entered night mode here. We got pretty much everything back in place. All we really need to do is tighten down these nuts and bolts. You got both the new control arm bushings in, looking good. New tie rod, new strut, lowering spring. It's coming together good. You're gonna want to torque all these bolts in here when the car's on the ground so everything's preloaded. So we get that all tightened up and move on to the rears. See the drive axle's a little broken there. I'm gonna have to get some new axles at some point.
Do a quick mic check.
Looking at the parts here for the rear suspension, we got the new shock absorbers, one for each side. We have the sport springs from H&R. These should lower the rear end about half an inch or so. These are the spring perches. They pretty much just go right here. We have new shock mounts, new bump stops for the shocks. The Cooper R bushings, these are a little bit bigger, a little bit beefier. These are solid rubber, so these should have a little bit better feel to them. We have the dust caps and all the associated hardware. At a quick glance here, you got one of these going on, so that's nice. I think
Not supposed to be like that?
I don't think so. The bushing back here is definitely messed up. You can see all the cracks in it. And the other side's pretty much the same way. You got all this jazz going on right here. This bushing is equally as messed up.
Time for an inspection.
We got the parking brake cable off. We have the speed sensor disconnected. And we also have the brake lines loose back here. Next we're gonna drop the shocks. Got the old shocks out. It doesn't come back up, as you can see. You can see the height difference here. It looks like more than half an inch, but this is much softer springs. I got the axle out. Wasn't all that bad of a job. We got a special bushing pusher tool. I'm gonna give the guy a little whirl and see what it can do. So we're trying to use this thing to take out the bushings, but we also forgot that the bushing pusher is a bushing pusher, not a bushing puller. So this thing should be able to get the bushings back in, but we're gonna have to go old school to get this thing back out.
Remember when you felt like something bad was gonna happen?
It's not going well. This thing's being a huge pain in the ass, but we got the middle of it out. Now we're gonna take a break and eat some Scottish food. We finally got this thing out. Pretty much what we had to do is, we have a drill bit on here. We had to drill holes in all the rubber to get the centerpiece out. As you can see here, we took a Sawzall, kind of cut this section out and it slid right out. A lot more effort than I was hoping to use. Let's get to the other side. So it looks like the old bushing pusher does not fit in the new bushing. So we finally got these things in. You do have to put these in an orientation. Pretty much you want this slot right here lined up with this weld. All it took was a little bit of hammering, didn't it? Got the old Bluetooth actually going on here. I might just drive around like this. Put a caster wheel up under there.
What are we looking like?
Looking good. I just need to... Oh.
Hello.
Hello. Got the new springs in. They're pretty easy. You just tilt the axle down, it shows in place. You have the new spring cup here. This just sits in place. There's no bolts or anything. Jack it up to compress the suspension a little bit. You can get the shock in right here. We got the new bump stop in there. We use the old dust boot because why not? It is nighttime again, so
Making
that's
a habit
fun.
of this.
Yeah.
We can start a new segment, Gas House After Dark.
Yeah, Gas House After Dark. We'll get a thumbnail that has a bunch of moons and stars in it. Look at that. Blue spring, yellow shock.
Put them together.
Did you put that one bolt in there?
That was extra. We got extra parts. We're good.
Other sides are looking good too. Look at that. Put the wheels on, tighten up everything. We should be good to go. We'll give it a nice load test.
Nice.
It's a new day. I don't have any hair. And let's check the suspension out. If you look at this, it's a lot better than it used to be, I can tell you that much. Let's go take it for a spin. We get up on the road here. Just first thing I noticed driving across the gravel here is it's a lot less floaty. You can feel the gravel a lot more than you could beforehand. We'll see what happens up here. I'm gonna get into some of the curvier stuff here in a second, but already the steering feels a lot tighter. You can feel the road a lot more. For sure, you can feel a lot more of the smaller cracks. They're not necessarily uncomfortable. You can just feel a little bit more vibration, but just to be expected. Corner here, let's see. Nothing. feels much better. The car feels much more planted to the road. Before, you know, you could hit some larger bumps in the road and it would start to wander all over the place. You know, the front end would kind of kick up, start bouncing around. In terms of comfort, I definitely would say the stock suspension was more comfortable, probably as a cruiser. This is almost a little too much, especially if you live in areas with bad roads. Cruising the back roads with some decent pavement, some nice curves, this thing's as sharp as a tack.
New shop, 2025.
121 acres.
Definitely need some likes, subscribes, and some comments if we're buying that.
Yeah, for sure. If you're looking for more of like a highway cruiser, you know, you do a lot of highway driving, the best bet will probably be to get upgraded struts but keep the stock springs. So you still have some of that Cadillac-like ride, if you want to call it that. Probably ought to get back at the autocross track here sometime soon and see what kind of laps we can put down. Alright guys, so this is all we have for this video. Be sure to like, subscribe, and comment. Let us know what you think we should do next to this. We'll probably be putting the clutch, getting this thing on the dyno. But if you have any suggestions, let us know. See you in the next video.